Eyes Wide Shut was a warning, and they silenced Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick made a movie so shocking, it might have gotten him killed. This film exposed a secret cult hiding in plain sight, and just 4 days after finishing it, Kubrick mysteriously dropped dead. And 24 minutes were cut before you ever saw it. But what was in those 24 minutes? Why did Kubrick risk everything to make this film? Stay tuned, because what you're about to see might change how you watch movies forever. Let's start with what this film actually shows, and why it's freaking people out 25 years later. Released in 1999, Eyes Wide Shut looks just like another Hollywood movie with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, but it's not. This film is different. It's strange, uncomfortable, and honestly super creepy. And some people think it's actually a secret message in disguise. It starts out like a regular story. Tom Cruise plays a rich doctor. His wife, played by Nicole Kidman, tells him one night that she once thought about cheating on him. That's it. Just a thought. But that tiny confession messes with his head so much that he spirals into this weird world of sex, secrets, and scary masks. He ends up at this super fancy, top secret party, like invite only, password protected kind of secret. Everyone's wearing masks, everyone's silent, and the things going on inside, it's not normal. There are rituals, naked women, cloaked figures, and this intense, creepy music playing in the background the whole time. And here's where it gets super interesting. None of this feels random. It all looks exactly like the things people say goes on inside real secret societies. You know, like the Illuminati, people who are powerful, rich, and hidden in plain sight. Even the symbols in the movie, the triangle shapes, the red lighting, the way people are standing in a circle, are all things people have linked to real-life elite rituals. And some of the music, also rumoured to be used in real ceremonies. Yeah, this isn't just a movie, it's something more. Stanley Kubrick, the director, was known for being super detailed. He didn't just make things up. Everything he put on screen had a reason. So when people saw Eyes Wide Shut, they started asking, what if this isn't fiction at all? What if this is Kubrick showing us what happened behind closed doors with the elite? And the weirdest part? Kubrick died just 4 days after showing his final version of the film to the studio. Like, 4 days! Suddenly, no warning. People started connecting the dots. A film showing creepy elite rituals. A director who was known for being secretive and smart. And then, he's gone before the movie even hits theaters. But if Eyes Wide Shut was really exposing something big, who was Kubrick targeting? A lot of people online believe that Eyes Wide Shut wasn't just about strange parties and personal drama. They say it was directly targeting one of the most secretive and powerful groups in the world, the Freemasons. The Freemasons are a real group that have been around for hundreds of years. On the surface, they say they're just a brotherhood or a club that does charity work. But for years, people have accused them of being much more than that. There are all kinds of rumours that the Freemasons secretly control governments, banks, and big world events from behind the scenes. So when Eyes Wide Shut came out and showed this super creepy masked gathering of rich, powerful people doing rituals in a mansion, it reminded a lot of people of what they heard about the Freemason ceremonies. In the movie, there's this scene where Tom Cruise sneaks into a party hidden from the public. Everyone is wearing black cloaks, they have strict rules, they use a password to enter. There's chanting, women are being used in ritualistic ways, and if you break the rules, like Tom does, you're warned, or worse. So the big question is, was this all just coincidence? Or was Kubrick trying to tell us something? Was this his way of saying, hey, look closely, this thing might be real? And just 4 days after Stanley Kubrick handed in the final version of Eyes Wide Shut to Warner Bros., he died. The official reason? A sudden heart attack. Now, Kubrick was 70 years old, so some people might say, hey, that's just old age. but people who were close to him said he was totally fine. No major health issues, no signs of anything wrong. He was working, thinking clearly, and still obsessed with perfecting every detail of his film. Like always. That's why his sudden death didn't sit right with a lot of people. Some say he was under pressure, others say he was stressed from the studio, but then you have the people who believe the darker theory. He was silenced. Reports say Kubrick was asked to make changes to the movie. Warner Bros. Allegedly wanted certain scenes cut because they were too intense or controversial, but Kubrick said no. He wanted to keep everything in. He believed in his vision. Some sources even claimed that what he was showing in Eyes Wide Shut, all the secret rituals, the powerful elites, the hidden society, was too close to the truth. And the people being portrayed, well, let's just say they really didn't want this kind of thing shown in public. After Kubrick's death, Warner Bros. Made changes anyway. They reportedly removed 24 full minutes from the movie. That's not just a tiny cut. That's like removing an entire episode of a TV show. But what was in those 24 minutes? Over the years, a few people who worked on the movie, like editors, assistants, and set crew, have dropped hints about what might have been in those deleted scenes. And trust me, these aren't small things. Some of them say the missing scenes showed more than just the masked party. They say there were scenes that named real people, or at least made it super obvious who the characters were based on, like high-level celebrities, politicians, and other powerful elites. There are even rumours that some of the footage hinted at child trafficking, blackmail rings, and dark things happening behind the scene. Things that people usually talk about in hushed voices online, but never expect to see in a movie from a major Hollywood studio. Of course, Warner Bros. Never confirmed what was cut. They say it was just edited for pacing, tone, and rating. But come on. When you delete 24 minutes of a movie from a director like Kubrick, someone who was obsessed with every single frame, people are gonna ask questions. So the theory is this: Kubrick knew too much. Maybe he saw things. Maybe he heard things during his years in the film industry. And maybe, just maybe, he went too far. We may never know exactly what was in those scenes. They're locked away, probably in a vault, never to be shown. But the fact that they were removed after Kubrick's sudden death, that's enough to make anyone suspicious. And think about it. If those scenes really didn't matter, why hide them? Why not release them later as bonus content or a director's cut? Now let's talk about the stars of Eyes Wide Shut, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. At the time, they were Hollywood's power couple. Two of the biggest names in the world, married in real life and starring together in one of the most mysterious movies ever made. It was a huge deal, but after Eyes Wide Shut, both Tom and Nicole kinda disappeared from the spotlight for a while. Tom Cruise, who was known for being super active in the media, suddenly became way more private. Around that time, he got more involved in Scientology, and people started linking his behaviour to things that were happening behind the scenes in Hollywood. Some people believe even Tom Cruise got freaked out while filming Eyes Wide Shut. They say the things he saw, on set and possibly off, were too real, too dark, and too close to something big. Like, maybe he realised Kubrick wasn't making all of it up. Nicole Kidman also pulled away. Not long after the movie, she and Tom got divorced, and she started talking about how she felt controlled during that time. She didn't mention the movie directly, but fans have pointed out how careful she is whenever it comes up in interviews, and no one involved in the film talks about it. Like, at all. It's been 25 years since Eyes Wide Shut came out, and yet Tom, Nicole, and pretty much everyone in the cast and crew barely ever mentioned it. No deep interviews, no behind the scenes reveals, no juicy stories, just silence. That's not normal. Usually when you're part of something this big, especially a Kubrick movie, you talk about it. You share memories. You celebrate it. But with this one, nothing. It's like there's some invisible rule keeping them quiet. Some people believe that after Kubrick died, certain powerful people stepped in, that they buried the original version of the film and told everyone never to speak about it publicly again. Not officially, of course, but through pressure, influence, quiet threats. There are even rumors that Tom Cruise wanted out midway through the filming, that the scenes were so dark, so uncomfortable, and so close to the real thing that he didn't want to be any part of it anymore, but he couldn't back out. Not with a director like Kubrick, and not with the whole world watching. It's not just the actors, even people behind the camera, cinematographers, editors, designers, they're all keeping their lips sealed, which is super rare in Hollywood. Usually there's always someone who leaks something. But here, just total silence. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's talk about something that most people miss completely. Eyes Wide Shut might be Kubrick's final film, but it wasn't the first time he tried to say something deeper. If you look closely in his older movies, there are tons of clues that he'd been warning us for years. Let's start with The Shining. Everyone remembers the creepy twins, the haunted hotel, and Jack Nicholson losing his mind. But some people believe Kubrick used that film to drop secret messages. Like there's a scene with Danny wearing an Apollo 11 sweater, and people say that was his way of hinting that he helped fake the moon landing. It sounds wild, but remember, Kubrick did film realistic space scenes in 2001: A Space Odyssey, years before NASA even landed. There's also that weird scene in The Shining where the hotel manager shakes Jack's hand in front of an American flag. It looks innocent, but some people believe it shows how powerful systems recruit people to do their dirty work behind the scenes. Next up, A Clockwork Orange. That film was violent, disturbing, and loaded with themes about mind control, psychology, and how the government manipulates behavior. Again, it wasn't just for shock. Kubrick was showing us how power systems try to control the human brain. Even Full Metal Jacket, his war film, was packed with messages about dehumanization and programming. The soldiers are broken down and rebuilt like machines. Sound familiar? Every single one of Kubrick's films seems to pull back a curtain on power, control, and what happens when people lose their free will. And then, Eyes Wide Shut comes along, and it connects everything. The masks, the rituals, the elite control. Suddenly, all his past clues start making sense. We may never know the full story, but the clues he left behind, they're still there, just waiting for people to notice. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button so more people see it. And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more videos coming that dig even deeper into the secrets they don't want you to know.